Think math.
Here is x squared plus x plus 1 greater than 0. The answer, remarkably, is every real number. Whatever you put in, it holds. Flip the sign to less than 0, and there is no answer at all. The expression has no roots whatsoever, and yet the answer is either everything or nothing. Why does it swing to those two extremes? Draw the graph, and you see it at once. Work out the discriminant of this expression, and it comes to -3, a negative number. A negative discriminant means this parabola never once meets the x-axis. And if it never meets the axis, there is nowhere for it to cross over, so it stays on one side from beginning to end. The number in front of x squared is positive, so it opens upward, which puts the whole curve above the axis. Even its lowest point sits at 0.75. If the whole parabola is above the axis, then y is positive always. So greater than 0 holds for every x you try, and the answer is every real number. Less than 0 fails for every x, so there is no solution. The equal bar changes nothing either. Greater than or equal to 0 is still every real number, and less than or equal to 0 still has no solution, because nothing ever touches the axis. Everything or nothing, because there was nowhere to divide. What if the number in front of x squared is negative? Take minus x squared minus x minus 1. Its discriminant is still -3, but now the parabola opens downward. Never meeting the axis while opening downward puts the whole curve below it, with a highest point of -0.75. So the conclusions flip exactly. Less than 0 becomes every real number, and greater than 0 has no solution. The discriminant decides whether the curve meets the axis, and the number in front of x squared decides which side it stays on. Last comes the borderline case, where the discriminant is exactly 0. Look at y equals x squared. The parabola does not cut through the axis. It grazes it at the origin and nowhere else. At that single touching point, y is 0, and everywhere else y is positive, so the answers separate by a hair. Greater than 0 is everything except that one point, while greater than or equal to 0 is every real number. Less than 0 has no solution, and less than or equal to 0 is that one point alone. Having no roots never meant having no answer. It meant there was nowhere to divide. A sip of math every day here at Think Math.